So I've recently replayed Final Fantasy VIII and talked about that. Love the Guardian Forces and going off the beaten track to acquire them all. Now, let's rank all the GFs, primarily on their animations and design, but I'll factor in how you acquire them, their abilities and usefulness a little bit as well. It's not super serious or objectively the best, these are my favourites. Let's go! So Final Fantasy VIII introduces a few new summons to the series, and Diablos is top of that list of newcomers. I love Diablos' dark gothic design, and how he almost struggles with the sheer gravity of his own attack. You can earn Diablos after fighting him by using the magical lamp from Sid. Just make sure you don't forget to pick up the lamp before you leave Bahamut Garden, cause I've made that mistake back in the day. I always make use of his mug ability to steal rare items for crafting, and his ability to remove random encounters can be pretty nice, considering everything scales to your level anyway, so I usually run away from random encounters anyway. All round a complete badass and becomes pretty deadly at higher levels, but a pity it's not so effective against bosses. Gonna give him S tier just for his animation and design alone. He looks like he was born from my darkest nightmares. Maybe my favourite summon in 8. Siren. I didn't notice it at first, but Siren's been centered a little bit in the remastered version of 8. I quite liked her summon sequence and how the floor becomes flooded. It's literally like finding a siren out at sea, and love her little wing ears. While Siren is the weakest summon in terms of damage, she's instead all about status effects and leaves her enemies silenced. She's got a decent selection of status effect junctions that make her quite useful, and early on I'd always buy loads of tents, then use her refining ability to convert them into Curaga magic for a head start with junctions. She's a very easy summon to miss, she's the first optional one, and it's easy to forget to draw from the Elvaret boss at Dollett's Radio Tower. I like Siren, she's one of the rarer summons in the Final Fantasy series. I'm gonna give her A tier. Ifrit's a classic, and I think 8's take on him might be my favourite Ifrit in the entire series. I mean, 16's all about Ifrit, and he's pretty awesome there too, but love Ifrit's design here. Normally in Final Fantasy he's either too human or too animal-like, and I feel like 8 strikes the perfect balance. Love the close-up shots with the fire seething off him. So you'll acquire Ifrit on your very first training mission in the Fire Cavern. And if you start Final Fantasy VIII for the first time, and maybe you're feeling a little bit alienated with all the military and mercenary themes, Ifrit is here to reassure you this is still a Final Fantasy game. Love how Ifrit even reacts if you summon Shiva during his fight. I'll always make use of Ifrit's strength bonuses, and if you play a lot of Irvine, then his ammo refinement is really useful too. S tier for my favourite Ifrit. Hey, if you're a big fan of Final Fantasy or RPGs in general, consider liking or subbing, it's an amazing help. Trying to grow the Peter Bytes channel, you might like my series where I'm replaying through a Final Fantasy every month and ranking them against each other as I go. Thank you. Cerberus is an optional boss fight in Galbadia Garden during the Battle of the Gardens. He's decent, it's almost like he's missing flesh and you can see his exposed muscles. And I like how he breaks out of the gates of hell and shoots off his magic to that gorgeous skybox. While Cerberus doesn't deal damage, he's more of a utility Guardian Force that casts double and triple on the party, which is extremely useful and lets you cast multiple spells in one turn. I find him really powerful on those big bosses or super bosses if you don't mind burning through your magic stockpiles. A tier. Tonberry is one of the harder GFs to find if you don't have a guide. So in the Centra Ruins you need to defeat 20 Tonberries, which will draw out the Tonberry King as a boss. I find the actual Tonberry summon animation a little bit disappointing. It's literally just a Tonberry doinking someone with a knife, which I suppose is true to a Tonberry. And Tonberry has a few unique abilities like adjusting enemies' levels to get rarer magic or items from them, but gotta admit its true strength lies in lots of useful shop bonuses, including the ability to access a shop from anywhere in the world. I'm gonna give Tonberry C tier. I like that he's dedicated to shot bonuses, but yeah, disappointed with his summon sequence. So the Brothers Guardian Force is a goofy duo of Minotaurs, and a unique summon to Final Fantasy VIII. Well, they do appear as enemies in some other games, but not summons. The Brothers Guardian Force is earned from delving into the Tomb of the Unknown King, flipping a few switches, then fighting the brothers. Every time I replay it, I always enjoy going out of my way to acquire this one. Pretty nice defensive abilities including huge health boosts, very nice early on, and the ability to cover for other party members. They're a little bit too goofy with them playing rock paper scissors to determine who's getting flung into the enemy, but I'm still gonna get them S tier. Bonus points for being a unique summon to it. Quezacotl is one of the unmissable Guardian Forces, and one you start with. As a thunder-based Guardian Force, it kind of replaces Ramuh, who's been the thunder summon for the Final Fantasy series so far. I quite like Quezacotl's design. Whenever Quezacotl appears in other Final Fantasy games, it usually looks more like a generic beast. Well, apart from Final Fantasy XIV, where it returns as a dungeon boss, very much keeping the design from Final Fantasy VIII. Unique abilities include refining thunder magic from items, and the ability to convert weakened enemies to cards, which works really well with his other ability Card Mod that lets you convert cards into some pretty powerful and rare items. In fact, it's possible to earn Squall's ultimate weapon in Disc 1 thanks to Quezacotl's abilities. I was leaning to B rank, but as a huge fan of Triple Triad, I have to bump Quezacotl up to an A rank. Shiva's another Guardian Force you start with. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Shiva's design in 8. Probably a weird take, I don't know. To me she looks more like an aquatic water-based summon than an ice one. Maybe it's those yellow dangly bits that kind of look like they belong to a fish. But I do like her charge up, it feels like there's a weight behind her ice blast. Not much utility wise, she can refine ice magic from items and gives a few boosts to spirit and vitality. It was between C and B tier. I think I can squeeze in a B tier. Love the way Bahamut peeks out of the clouds before crashing into the atmosphere, and a solid Bahamut design. Bahamut does a barrage of attacks before charging up his more iconic Mega Flare. That big charged up one is what you want from a Bahamut. Bahamut is hidden at the Deep Sea Research Centre. You've got to do a silly minigame where you can't move when the light is on, and to actually fight Bahamut you'll need to pick a hidden dialogue option. Pretty cool. Great abilities including strength and magic plus 60%, and the ability to refine forbidden magic for the highest level spells in the game. Come on, it's Bahamut, he's a badass in every Final Fantasy. S tier. Cactuar is a bit basic, its attack power is determined by its level, but I really like how you acquire Cactuar. Once you've got the Ragnarok, you can find the Jumbo Cactuar on a little desert island, and I think it's a really fun fight. If you use Squall's Limit Break on Jumbo Cactuar, you get some really goofy animations with Cactuar reacting to every hit. Love the attention to detail here. While useful for its evasion and Lux Junctions, it's got all the stat boosts for leveling up, but because of how level scaling works in it, I generally don't level up much, but I still happily pick up Cactuar. I like Cactuar a little bit more than Tonberry, B rank. I think 8's Alexander has my favourite Alexander design. It makes me want to know more about it. Love how it's so huge and powerful, it launches its attacks from miles away in the mountains. Alexander is drawn from the second fight with a deer, quite a late one at the very end of Disc 2. Some decent abilities, and including the unique ability to level up medicine, which just so happens to be a requirement for getting another GF, Doomtrain. Love that almost sorceress at a deer theme it's got going on, A rank, and speaking of... Doomtrain, another completely unique summon to 8, Well, there are theories that this Doomtrain could also be the Phantom Train from Final Fantasy VI. I think it's so awesome how railway signals appear around enemies and trap them on the tracks. And Doomtrain rolls in to apply every debuff under the sun. I mean, just look at Doomtrain's face, it looks like he's screaming. And you've got all the fleshy demonic bits. It looks like the thing has come straight out of hell. But yeah, probably the hardest GF to acquire without a guide. You'll need the Solomon Ring from Tears Point, as well as 3 items you need 6 of, so 666. The Oculate fan magazines provide hints on what these 3 items are, but I know I would have never figured it out without a guide. Great design, very late in the game, and a bit of a pain in the arse to get. Gonna give Doomtrain an A rank. Now that I think about it, I quite like Carbuncle's design in 8. He's a bit like a cute bunny rabbit. Drawn from the Eagle Winds towards the end of Disc 1. Carbuncle is another one of those support Guardian forces. It will cast Reflect on the entire party. I'm sure he has his uses against certain bosses, but I personally never really need to use Carbuncle. Decent abilities like Counter, so you can counter-attack after taking a hit. I used to use Counter a lot, but less so these days. Carby's alright, C tier. Eden is the ultimate Guardian force you can draw from the Ultima weapon, hidden at the very bottom of the Deep Sea Research Center. By far the longest summon animation in the game, clocking in at over 72 seconds long, but worth it with Eden being able to break the usual 9,999 damage limit. I've got no idea what is going on with Eden, but I love it. It reminds me a little of Sephiroth's Supernova in 7 with different planets or moons getting involved. There's a brief moment where you get to see Eden in all its glory. Has the unique ability to create powerful Guardian Force abilities from items, as well as Devour, which lets you devour enemies. And check this, Devour has its own funny animation with devouring enemies. Eden's gotta be S tier. Alright, this is drawn from Nog on Disc 2. I like that if any enemies are defeated by Leviathan's Tsunami, they're washed away. I kind of like Leviathan's design here, especially compared to some of the older 2D ones. A bit unusual that Leviathan transforms into the water. He's usually whipping up a tsunami. It feels a little bit more like a wave or a waterfall than a full-blown tsunami. One of Leviathan's abilities I still use a fair bit is Recovery, which lets your party members fully heal each other without consuming magic or items. I'm gonna give Leviathan a B tier. Pandemona is a wind-based summon, unique to Final Fantasy VIII, and I always found Pandemona a bit creepy. I mean, it's hard to tell where its face or eyes are, if it even has any, and it sucks things up like a Henry the Hoover on steroids. But just imagine being trapped inside that thing. Very little in terms of unique abilities, with Quezacotl already having the ability to refine wind magic. Between D and C tier, I think I'm gonna have to give him D tier. So that's all the main Guardian forces, but there's a few bonus ones that can't be junctioned. I'm gonna quickly run through these. Okay, so you'll earn Odin by defeating him within his time limit at the Central Ruins, and Odin will randomly appear to instantly kill all your enemies for you. Can be a little bit annoying that you can't control when he'll help out. I like that Odin's horse actually has 6 legs, it doesn't always have 6 in every Final Fantasy, and enemies getting sliced in half with Zanzetsuken is so awesome. If you had Odin unlocked before you fight Cypher in Lunatic Pandora, you can also get Gilgamesh. So the very first time I fought Cypher, Odin triggers and I thought I was going to get an easy win. My mind was blown when Cypher turned around and killed my Guardian Force. It's one of my favourite moments in Final Fantasy VIII, was not expecting it, and Gilgamesh gets Odin's sword and takes its place as your GF. Just for all that, it's gotta go in S tier. So Phoenix is first summoned using a Phoenix Finion in battle. The Shumi Tribe side quest is one of the easiest ways of getting one, and after Phoenix has been summoned once, there's a chance Phoenix will resurrect the party after a full wipe. Pretty cool surprise when Phoenix will jump in to save you, but unreliable. I kinda wish Phoenix was a full-on junctionable GF, B tier. These last 3 summons are obtained through Choco World, the side game that required a pocket station or the PC version of the original game. Alternatively, in the remastered version of the game, you can find these summon items using Angelo search. Boko is your baby chocobo that you'll level up in Choco World and has 4 unique summon animations and abilities. My favourite is Chocobuckle that drops in a fat chocobo. It's way more animated and jiggly than in Final Fantasy VII. Gonna give Boko a C tier. Moomba are the cool lion-like animals in 8. It's a pity they didn't return in future Final Fantasy games. I think they could have become as iconic as other Final Fantasy creatures like chocobos or cactuars. But the Moomba summon it's a bit basic, but it's a bonus summon. D tier. MiniMog. So I'd always get the MiniMog card from the kid in Balloon Garden, and I always wondered how to get this GF. But it turns out you required the Pocket Station, which only got released in Japan or the PC version. Visually it's quite nice and flashy, but not the most useful summon, with it restoring some of your GF's health. C tier. Alright, that's been Final Fantasy VIII's GFs ranked. Peace for now.